Perek HaShutphin, Perek Lo Yachpor, Daf Yuv Zayin, sponsored Refuah Shleimer for Yosef David ben Rezel. The Gemara states the Avos tasted the afterlife in this world, were not dominated by the evil inclination, did not die by the Malach HaMavis, nor were their bodies consumed by earthworms. The words in the Torah, Bakol Mikol Kol, referring to them means, number one, they were blessed with everything, even a transcendent taste of the afterlife. Number two, they were blessed with a transcendent spiritual achievement to dominate the evil inclination as a reward for their life struggle against the evil inclination. According to this first opinion, the words David HaMelech stated in Tehillim, Libi Chalol B'kirbi, does not mean he dominated his evil inclination. It means his suffering emptied him of emotion. According to the second opinion, it means he was granted domination over his evil inclination. Number three, their souls were taken by Hashem, not by the Malach HaMavis. Included were another three, Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. The Torah states by Moshe and Aaron, they died al pi Hashem, a misas neshika. Miriam is included by a gezerah shava. Number four, their bodies remained intact. They were not consumed by earthworms. Included were another four righteous people, Moshe, Aaron, Miriam, Binyamin, concerning who the verse states, Yishkoin levetach olav, meaning Binyamin will rest in his grave securely. David claims similarly in Tehillim, Ach besari Yishkoin levetach. One opinion in the Gemara holds it was a prayer, not a fact. The parah concludes with the statement, four died only because of the counsel of the Nachash. The Gemara means these four men, Binyamin, Amram, Yishai, Avi David, the kill of, and David were sinless. Now we begin Perek Lo Yachpor. This chapter discusses the laws of Harchokas Nezikin, distancing one's property from doing damage. One cannot dig a pit next to his neighbor's field, regardless of its shape, unless he distances it 3 tefachim from the wall or plasters it with lime. Abaye explains the term wall in the Mishnah refers to the koisel habor, the wall of the pit, not a wall above ground. The 3 tefachim are measured from the boundary of the two properties, the nearest point of the pit's wall. The Mishnah used the term wall to teach one who sells a pit, its walls must be at least 3 tefachim. The Mishnah discusses a case where the neighbor's pit was already dug. The Gemara discusses the law before it was dug. Abaye holds he may dig next to the boundary line unless it is soft soil, then he must distance himself 3 tefachim. Rava holds he must distance his pit even for regular soil. The Gemara explains two versions of their machlokas. Number one, they argue about a field that does not need a pit. Abaye holds he can dig up to the boundary. Rava holds he cannot, because the neighbor may decide, as he did, to dig. However, a field that needs a pit, even Abaye agrees he must distance himself 3 tefachim. Number two, they argue about a field that needs a pit. Abaye holds he can dig next to the boundary line, even according to the Rabbanan who require planting a tree 25 amos from his neighbor's pit, because in this case there is no pit on his neighbor's property. Rava holds, even according to Rabbi Yossi, who permits planting a tree on one's property without distancing, is because there are no roots immediately weakening his neighbor's pit. But digging next to the boundary weakens his neighbor's land, making it unfit to dig. However, a field that does not need a pit, even Rava agrees one can dig next to the boundary. The Gemara explains the Mishnah in light of these two explanations. The Mishnah that prohibits digging only next to a boundary of an already dug pit must refer to a field that does not need a pit. This supports the version that Rava agrees in such a case he can dig up to the boundary. According to the version that he prohibits digging up to the boundary, even in such a case, Rava explains the word wall used in the Mishnah to teach even the first digger has to distance his pit. According to Abaye, the word wall in the Mishnah also implies the first digger must distance 3 tefachim. This supports the version that Abaye permits digging up to the boundary only to a field that does not need a pit, But where it does need a pit, even Abaye agrees, the first digger must distance himself 3 tvachim. According to the version that he does not have to distance himself even in a field that does need a pit, the Mishnah discusses a case where both neighbors dug simultaneously. Abaye permits digging up to the boundary only where one neighbor digs first. If you're enjoying Daf and 5, please click on the link below and subscribe, become a sponsor. Thank you.